This audio web novel is an original narration using my own voice. It's made for listeners who want to enjoy the story in audio form, and it is not a replacement for the original web novel. If you enjoy the story, please support the original author. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Extreme Highlights Audio Novels, Chapter 4203. They all walk the wrong path. Lin Moyu had used each gemstone alone before the soul gem could absorb souls, though only a limited number of times. For the soul gem, foreign souls weren't a true feast, just an occasional snack, dispensable. The element gem claimed it could command all elements of heaven and earth, but what exactly constituted an element was hard to define. Now, it seemed that everything material, whether visible or intangible, real or illusory, counted as an element and could be governed by the element gem. Lin Moyu had used the element gem rarely, only a handful of times. As for the balance gem, its role was to ensure balance, turning all beings within its range into equals. This gem distinguished neither friend nor foe, caring only for balance, so its practical use was limited. The Scourge Staff's greatest advantage for Lin Moyu was simple: smashing. The Scourge Staff was hard and indestructible, able to shatter anything from souls to the great Tao itself, and possibly even an entire realm if Lin Moyu tried. This time, with 4 of the staff's 5 gems assembled, the Scourge Staff displayed a new power. Working together, the 4 gems actually saved a realm on the brink of collapse. Not only did they save it, but rebuilt it, even giving the realm new vitality and laying the foundation for birthing new life. The shattered Myriad Marvels monument transformed into many Dos. Its secret techniques merged within these Dos and now reappeared in the world. In a way, the powerful sect's legacies of Lingmiao realm had not been lost. When new life emerges, some may once again comprehend those secret arts, thus restoring the Dao lineages. The ruins of those great sects still existed in the realm, and future generations may have the chance to enter them and learn of the realm's history. As the master of the Scourge Staff, witnessing this process, the destruction and rebirth of a realm brought Lin Moyu rare gains. Such an opportunity was extremely rare, and he watched with great interest, gaining new insights. He realized how the soul gem granted the realm vitality, making it able to once again nurture life, exactly the goal he had pursued for so long. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out as a soul devourer emperor burst forth in the myriad spirits pavilion. It roared, trying to break free from the pavilion's restraints. The pavilion was an independent space, so the Soul Devourer Emperor couldn't escape at once. It rampaged inside, but the only one left was Laurel, who didn't dare show himself against the Emperor. He'd be killed immediately. Now, as master of the Scourge Staff and the realm's gems, with Lingmiao realm newly reborn, Lin Moyu had essentially become its master. By relying on the realm's gems, he could command Lingmiao realm. "I couldn't deal with you before, but that may not be the case this time," Lin Moyu said. The realm's power responded to his will, transforming into a giant hand that grabbed the Soul Devourer Emperor. As one born of the Lingmiao realm, captured as a test subject, it had survived until now. When war broke out, the Soul Devourers outside Lingmiao realm all perished, including the local emperor, but this one survived because of its captivity. Watching the realm's rebuilding, Lin Moyu realized that soul devourers were not just a trial for transcenders within a realm, they were also the first barrier against outsiders. Soul devourers helped hide the realm, preventing it from being easily found amidst chaos. Lin Moyu's understanding of realms reached a new level. He could view things from new perspectives, gaining more valuable information. The realm-formed giant hand grasped the Soul Devourer Emperor, who struggled in vain. The Emperor, an outgrowth of realm power, had no resistance against the force that birthed it. "You have to pay back after causing trouble." "Go back to where you came from," Lin Moyu murmured, letting the realm's force absorb the Emperor. Now, as the realm was just reborn, the Emperor's power was a huge supplement, and wasting it would be a shame. Since it came from the realm, it should now return to it. Realizing its end, the Soul Devourer Emperor struggled madly, but it was futile. The realm's power completely restrained it, leaving no chance for escape. As the Emperor was gradually swallowed and broken down, Lin Moyu fell into reflection. He realized a key issue. Those Eternals striving for the final step, breaking through the world's limits into the realm, was that really the right answer? Many Saint Spirit level cultivators in Ling Miao realm had already transcended and could enter chaos, yet they stayed behind. Was it just out of cowardice? The last obstacle to entering chaos after transcending was the Soul Devourer Emperor, formed from realm power. The stronger the realm, the stronger the Emperor, and the harder it was to break through something Lin Moyu knew well. The Emperor beyond the five realms nearly killed him without even facing him. He'd thought brute force and a powerful Dao heart were the only ways to get past the Emperor, but now saw another path. Become the master of the realm, use realm power to deal with the Emperor, and then breaking into chaos would be effortless. This is the right path. Lin Moyu suddenly understood, rather than entering chaos alone, the true route was to become the realm master and bring the entire realm into chaos together. A single person ascending, lifting the whole realm with them, this was the true way. Unfortunately, most people never realized this and chose the wrong path. Cultivators by nature are selfish, and even Lin Moyu was no exception. They cared only for family, friends, and perhaps their race or world, but not the entire realm. Thus, the vast majority would never comprehend this. The myriad Marvel Supreme might have sensed this, which was why he stayed in Ling Miao realm and tried to refine the realm's core, hoping to be the realm's master one day. But he failed, and at the last moment provoked a powerful enemy leading to his and the realm's demise. Perhaps this too is a tribulation. If you don't pass, you die. Heaven, earth, and chaos all are cycles of karma. Tribulation is everywhere, and those who cultivate against heaven must bear this. The stronger your power, the greater your responsibility. There's no avoiding it. With these thoughts, Lin Moyu's Dao heart grew even firmer and unbreakable. The Soul Devourer Emperor shrieked, growing weaker and weaker, his power less than half of before. Laurel, emboldened, revealed himself. Taoist Lin, is that you? Lin Moyu smiled. Laurel, long time no see, long time indeed. I never imagined Taoist Lin would become so powerful the next time you visited. Lin Moyu smiled. You flatter me. Let me finish this, and then I have something to discuss with you. Laurel quickly replied, Alright, take your time. Chapter 4204, The Rule Manager of the Ling Miao Realm. Laolu didn't know Lin Moyu's current status, but he could more or less guess Lin Moyu's strength. To so easily resolve the Soul Devourer Emperor Lin Moyu was far stronger than the former pavilion master of Wanling Pavilion. He had personally witnessed the Soul Devourer Emperor's death, watching it turn to dust and dissipate completely. Lin Moyu's projection appeared in front of Laolu and spoke bluntly, Laolu, Ling Miao realm has been destroyed, you know that, don't you? Laolu sighed. I suspected as much, but could not be sure. After all, I'm just an artifact spirit of Wanling Pavilion. Lin Moyu said Ling Miao realm was destroyed many years ago. The fact that it survived until now was already a miracle. Fortunately, an opportunity has arrived for it to be reborn, and by coincidence, I have become the master of Ling Miao realm. Laolu's eyes glimmered faintly. How long will it take for Ling Miao realm to return to its former glory? Lin Moyu answered, It will take a very long time, at best tens of millions of years, at worst several billion years. So long. Even someone as old as Laolu sighed. That was indeed a long time. Lin Moyu said, I have ways to speed up the process. Perhaps in just a few thousand years part of it can be restored, but I'll need your help. Laolu agreed, Just give your instructions and I'll do my best. Lin Moyu said, I intend to make you the rule manager of the realm to take charge of all the laws and rules here. I will also send in some living beings, skipping the slowest stages altogether. You will guide these living beings to quickly master cultivation in the realm, and you can adjust the layout and patch up some flaws in the domain. I'll tell you how it's done and give you administrator privileges. Before this, Ling Miao realm didn't have a rule manager. If it had, maybe it could have grown even stronger. Now that Lin Moyu was master of Ling Miao realm, he needed to appoint a rule manager, and Laolu was the obvious choice. With the right manager, Lin Moyu could operate hands-off. He only needed to select some non-cultivating beings from the Great Thousand World and send them into the five realms. Those selected wouldn't even realize they had been transplanted. There are many small worlds in the Great Thousand World, many of which have no cultivators at all. To bring them into the realm would show them a grand road to Tao. The realm gradually stabilized, and Lin Moyu moved Laiolu into the core of the realm. At that point, the core had mostly recovered, and even the broken monument had been restored, standing tall at the plaza center. This monument, called the Domain Stele, recorded everything that happened in the realm. Now Lin Moyu had also integrated the shattered myriad marvel Stele into it, making the Domain Stele even stronger. At the same time, the realm carried many secret arts, just like the old Stele. Upon arriving, Lin Moyu used realm power to extract Laolu from his former nameplate and send him into the domain Stele. From then on, Laolu would be the spirit of the Stele, able to learn the myriad secret arts it recorded. Lin Moyu, as master of the realm, granted Laolu the status of rule manager. Alright, take your time getting used to it, study the secret arts and rules, and check the messages I left in the Stele. Ling Miao realm is far from perfect. I have summarized many flaws in its DAOs for you. Later, you can fix and repair them. Soon, I'll send people into Ling Miao realm. Laolu replied with excitement, I will give it my all. As a little signpost spirit, he had never imagined such an honor, being promoted to the spirit of a realm, second only to the realm's lord and above trillions, was cause for joy. Lin Moyu gently handed over the realm's core to Laolu and withdrew. Before his eyes, heaven and earth twisted. The entire Lingmiao realm was stowed away, now positioned next to the Great Thousand World, becoming its neighbor. In terms of scale, the Great Thousand World was still much larger than the reborn Lingmiao realm, but even then, it had not reached its potential limit. Lin Moyu had high hopes for the Great Thousand World. Controlling the Great Thousand World, he unleashed vast power and merged Lingmiao realm into his sphere of influence. He then used his authority to connect the two together and transferred 5 small worlds into Lingmiao realm. Together, those 5 worlds held over 100 billion living beings, and with their addition, Lingmiao realm instantly grew vibrant. After some time, once Laolu adapted to the rules, he would begin properly arranging these new inhabitants. Lin Moyu himself embraced his absentee landlord role and paid no heed to the tedious details. This entire experience had been indescribably profound. It was a huge stride in his journey to uncover the mysteries of heaven and earth. He slowly opened his eyes and, through his undead servants, saw there were many outside observers. Lin Moyu had already returned to the shattered glaze world when he took the Ling Miao realm away. He had not awoken before. No one dared disturb him. When Lin Moyu awoke, the human emperor was the first to speak. Congratulations to the immortal one. As soon as he spoke, the others followed, all congratulating Lin Moyu, even though they didn't know what they were supposed to be congratulating him for, especially the Dao Masters, who simply joined in. Lin Moyu smiled. Senior Human Emperor, would you mind telling me what exactly you're congratulating me for? The human emperor didn't stand on formality naturally. I congratulate you on such a great harvest from now on. That gate is yours. Lin Moyu realized the human emperor had noticed something. After all, the myriad marvels gate had vanished, not departed, and he'd opened it several times himself. He would naturally notice the subtleties. Lin Moyu candidly acknowledged, indeed from now on, the myriad marvels gate is mine. If you have any questions, please ask, and I'll answer if I can. The human emperor said, so it's called the Myriad Marvels Gate. I do have a few questions. Must the gate be perfectly open to recognize a new master? And what benefits does having the gate's recognition grant? Does it help to take that final step? These were not just the human emperor's questions, they were shared by the other Eternals. They too had encountered the gate and thought its inner space was mysterious, but they'd never managed to open it perfectly and gain answers. Lin Moyu replied, You're exactly right. Senior, only by opening it perfectly will the gate recognize a master. As for what's inside, it won't help take that last step, I can guarantee that. As for what the gate actually does, I won't elaborate. You may think of it as a magic artifact, just one that can't be used inside a realm. He offered this explanation to make it easier for the others to accept. The human emperor nodded slightly and didn't ask further. If that's so, then... Boom! Suddenly, heaven and earth shook violently. Several Eternals and Tao Lords simultaneously turned to look at the distant horizon. In the far distance, the world mist was being torn open, as if a giant rift had split the domain. Great Tao power surged outward toward the realm's edge. Next chapter, chapter 4205, Transcendence Failure. A sudden change drew the gaze of all avenues of the Tao soared into the outer realms, tearing huge rifts within the domain. Though this took place unimaginably far away, regardless of the distance or which world, even in the void world, as long as one was at the Tao Lord realm, they could witness this scene. It was a spectacle for those above the Tao Lord level. The Tao rose into the sky, scattering endless visions. Everyone saw something different. Countless people saw themselves, their friends, and family in the ascending Tao, yet the events they witnessed had never actually occurred. This is my future. Impossible. How could my brother betray me? My disciple is actually trying to poison me. For a moment, countless Tao Lords saw their futures, shocked and disbelieving. The human emperor's eyes were filled with envy. The Lord of Destiny is about to attain the Tao, but this scene, seen by so many, will surely plunge the world into chaos. Lin Moyu's expression was calm. No matter the chaos, it's all causality, nothing but trifles. The human emperor laughed. Indeed, to Taoist Lin, such matters are negligible. Lin Moyu responded politely. The same could be said for you, senior human emperor. I imagine your ascension is not far off. The human emperor shook his head. Still quite a ways to go, no rush, there's time. Though prodigious, the human emperor's accumulation did fall short of someone like the Lord of Destiny. This breakthrough by the Lord of Destiny, his Tao rising high, allowed countless Tao Lords to see their futures. Whether these visions were true or not, the future is ever shifting, yet it still sowed vigilance in people's hearts. Thanks to this, countless powerful destinies were set in motion, undoubtedly bringing chaos and bloodshed to all worlds. But to Lin Moyu, these were still minor matters. What truly concerned him was the fate of the whole domain. In the past, he would have wished the Lord of Destiny success, but now he only pitied him for failing to walk the truly glorious path. Still, at least it was one less competitor. The human emperor sighed. Though the Destiny Dao's futures are not always accurate, they do stir the Dao heart. May I ask, Taoist Lin, what did you see? Lin Moyu smiled but gave no answer. He saw nothing. He was not part of Destiny. There was no sign of him in the Destiny Dao. The human emperor understood and with a hint of envy said, "First Candle Dragon, then Destiny. It's time I set to work as well." Lin Moyu, some things are not to be rushed, let nature take its course. Lin Moyu knew the Lord of Destiny had not fully achieved the Tao. There remained one last trial. The soul-devouring Spirit Emperor was surely waiting outside the domain. Standing atop the Tao, the Lord of Destiny surged out of the domain. The domain barrier thundered as if to see him off, even more impressive than the spectacle when Candle Dragon ascended. The barrier remained open, the Tao aloft, for 2 whole days, and all watched for 2 days as well. Lin Moyu frowned. Something's wrong. The human emperor faintly sensed it too and asked, "What's wrong?" Lin Moyu, the Tao remains. I can still sense the Lord of Destiny's aura. He hasn't transcended. He must be in trouble. The human emperor was shocked. You mean, Lin Moyu, I once faced it, never saw its face, and nearly died. The human emperor was even more alarmed. Is it truly that dreadful? Pray explain. Lin Moyu, this is the true final step. Each must face it alone, words can't convey it. One can only say, keep your Tao heart firm, and perhaps there is a chance. Like Candle Dragon, break through tribulation and illusion with a supreme Tao heart, and you will truly become one with the Tao. The human emperor nodded, enlightening. Thank you, Taoist Lin. On the 3rd day, the Destiny Tao suddenly quaked violently, followed by a scream echoing through the heavens. The domain barrier tore open once more. Through the gap, someone fell out. The Lord of Destiny. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed as he saw that the fallen was indeed the Lord of Destiny. The human emperor said quietly, he failed. Lin Moyu instantly leapt forward through the void. The soulless beast appeared, rewriting the rules for Lin Moyu, and he crossed billions of miles in a single stride. With a series of dozens of steps, Lin Moyu traversed endless space, arriving at where the Lord of Destiny had fallen. Although the Lord of Destiny appeared close, in truth he was not in that region of space. Nevertheless, nothing within the domain could elude Lin Moyu's senses. The soulless beast appeared, a massive claw tearing space apart, while Lin Moyu forcibly seized the Lord of Destiny. The Lord of Destiny floated in the void, his body mutilated and covered in wounds, left arm and leg gone, only half a body left. For an eternal, flesh meant little one could always regenerate. But the Lord of Destiny suffered more than bodily wounds. His soul and even his true spirit were injured. His powers were working on healing him, but a strange energy in the wounds was constantly corroding him, blocking recovery. This power, Lin Moyu sensed the strength of chaos from the wounds. The Lord of Destiny had fallen unconscious. Lin Moyu released life force to stabilize him, then wrapped him in a spiritual flower. Whether the flower could heal him, Lin Moyu could not say, he could only try. The Lord of Destiny had nearly reached his final step. The flower's efficacy must be vastly diminished. And with the true spirit wounded, who could tell if it'd work at all? Moments later, the void twisted, and the human emperor and other Eternals arrived, along with the Lord of Power and even old Yin Head, who had paused his studies to come from the great wilderness. The Lord of Destiny's failure to transcend had drawn the attention of every Eternal. Some Tao Lords tried to come but were driven off. This was not their concern. The Eternals waited in silence, not even breathing, until the spiritual flower faded and they could finally see their comrade more clearly. His body seemed a bit better, but only a bit. His soul and true spirit had not clearly recovered, his state was only barely stabilized. What happened? There's a strange power on his wounds, containing the attribute of chaos. Is the final step truly so hard? Only fellow Eternals could understand the severity of the Lord of Destiny's wounds. Damage to the true spirit is even more frightening than injury to the soul. They had long since internalized their true spirits being dormant didn't necessarily cause harm, but this sight filled them with dread. To them, harm to the true spirit was far worse than dormancy. Lin Moyu tried to use death force to erode the energy on the Lord of Destiny's wounds, but the process was extremely slow. This was the difference in level. The opposing power was simply too strong, and Lin Moyu comparatively weak. The human emperor, Taoist Lin, do you know what this is? Everyone looked to Lin Moyu. Though he was the youngest, he perhaps knew more than any of them. Lin Moyu, I dare not speculate. Better to let the Lord of Destiny speak for himself. Next chapter. Chapter 4206, The One Beyond the Soul, Devouring Spirit Emperor. Lin Moyu raised a finger and pointed at the Lord of Destiny. The undying Tao surged forth, instantly pushed to its peak. The forces of life and death poured into the Lord of Destiny's body, growing increasingly intense, as if ready to tear his already battered body to shreds. As these forces reached their limit, they collided at the heart of the Lord of Destiny's body. Boom! The forces of life and death detonated, swiftly transforming and elevating one to the other. Their leap from one extreme to the other brought a massive power boost. An even greater force of death surged toward the Lord of Destiny's wounds, corroding the invading power at the points of injury, while the force of life stimulated his soul powerfully. With a low shout, the Lord of Destiny finally awoke under the intense stimulation. Once awake, he glanced at his ruined body, already understanding his state, and forced a bitter smile. Fellow Taoists, apologies for the embarrassment. Lin Moyu said, time is limited. Senior, you're only temporarily awake. It's best you speak of your ordeal, then I'll send you into Tao dormancy. At this point, the Lord of Destiny's only option was to enter dormancy within his Tao. He didn't even have the strength to achieve dormancy by himself. Voluntary dormancy is always better than being forced. Lin Moyu was willing to send him into Tao dormancy even if it meant shouldering some karma, and the Lord of Destiny felt genuinely grateful. He whispered, "Thank you, Taoist Lin. I was outside the domain." He began sharing his encounter beyond the domain's boundary, and everyone present perked up to listen, not daring to miss a thing. All of them had gone outside the domain, but never far. A few hadn't even encountered soul devourers, much less a soul-devouring spirit emperor. The more they listened, the more shocked they became. The Lord of Destiny spoke without reservation of his experience. From leaping to the Tao to plunging back, battered, only a few days had passed, but it was as if he'd lived through 3 lifetimes. After leaving the domain, the regular Soul Devourers and even the Soul Devourer Kings were no match. He annihilated them all. Only when the soul-devouring spirit emperor arrived did he, like Lin Moyu, fall into an illusion. The illusion was so vivid as to be indistinguishable from reality. He never even saw the emperor itself. Fortunately, the Lord of Destiny had experienced Tao dormancy and death, and had meditated in the dead end of the absolute Tao for countless years, forging a Tao heart few could match. Moreover, he had seen all that fate and life and death had to offer, that bleakness of karma. He didn't get trapped in his illusion. He paid a price, but eventually escaped. The soul-devouring spirit emperor never showed itself, but that wasn't important. The Lord of Destiny knew he'd forced his way out. Just when he thought he'd succeeded in becoming a Tao, a terrible being appeared. The Lord of Destiny saw endless whips crashing down and was instantly gravely wounded and thrown out of the outer domain. He heard a piercing scream but was not pursued. He tore through the domain barrier and re-emerged here. The human emperor frowned. That being wounded you so severely in a single strike but didn't pursue. Why? The Lord of Destiny shook his head, unsure. If not even he knew, no one else would. Only Lin Moyu knew. It was the Soul Devourers blocking that being. Soul Devourers are not just the final hurdle for realm cultivators, they are also the domain's foremost line of defense. The soul-devouring spirit Emperor's cultivation isn't that high, just a bit above an Eternal's, maybe not even half a step to transcendence. But their abilities are terrifying, inscrutable. Lin Moyu said, though you failed to transcend, Senior, you've taken a step. You should sense your strength has transformed. You're far stronger than before. The Lord of Destiny nodded. Indeed, I have a sense that this dormancy won't last long. 10,000, maybe 100,000 years, and I'll return to the Tao to try transcending once more. His current state was just above eternal, but not quite to half-step transcendence, a strange condition. He wouldn't be expelled by domain rules, and his dormancy would be shorter, so it wasn't a total failure. Lin Moyu said, I'll send you into the Tao, and let's all disperse. You've heard his story. If you want to take that last step, be cautious. He opened a passage to the Origin Land, taking the Lord of Destiny's broken form with him. The remaining Eternals exchanged glances and left. The Lord of Destiny's ordeal wasn't encouraging. Taking the final step was more dangerous than expected. Who was the being, after the soul-devouring spirit emperor, that struck down the Lord of Destiny in one blow? Why did it do so? This question hung over everyone, leaving them ill at ease. As Lin Moyu entered the Origin Land, he saw the Lord of Power and old Yinhead arrive. By now, the Lord of Destiny's consciousness had faded. He was close to relapse. With his true spirit damaged, things were now urgent. Lin Moyu used his power technique to instantly reach half-step transcendence, world-ending palm. A single strike sent the Lord of Destiny into the Tao, but it wasn't an easy task. Killing an Eternal means bearing their karma. Most won't do such a thing, but Lin Moyu was willing, and the Lord of Destiny was grateful. But with the blow, the Lord of Destiny's body, rather than shattering, was held together by foreign power at his wounds. That alien force, now fully active, attempted to gain control. The Lord of Destiny stared at Lin Moyu. Those powers want to take over. Lin Moyu already noticed. The powers that had lain hidden were now making a move. It was because they had reached the Origin Land, the second most important place in the domain. Those alien forces created tiny avatars, invading the Lord of Destiny's body and soul, trying to wrest control. The soulless beast appeared. Thunderbolts crashed down on the Lord of Destiny. The intrusion triggered punishment from the rules. But that wasn't enough. The heaven's punishment only slowed the invasion. Lin Moyu shouted, "Help me hold them!" The soulless beast growled, holding the Origin Land's rules in check. Even the heaven's punishment paused. Lin Moyu's aura climbed again. He broke through half-step transcendence and completed true transcendence. Without the soulless beast, he would have been banished in an instant. Now, he could stay in this realm for a second, long enough to mount an attack, world-ending palm. This strike was even stronger, landing squarely on the Lord of Destiny. This time, his physical body could not hold, he was smashed to powder, and so was his soul. The alien forces invading him were also shattered. Lin Moyu exploded on the spot but was reborn a moment later. Without pausing, he wrapped the Lord of Destiny's powder in the force of life and sent it to the Destiny Dao. The soulless beast obligingly cleared the way by parting the rule force. Lin Moyu delivered the Lord of Destiny into dormancy, making it much easier for him to return. A wave of invisible karma descended. Lin Moyu took out the causality ring and shouted, "Effect without cause." Before we head to the next chapter, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep the stories coming. Chapter 4207, Don't Be Too Self-Important. The abilities of the causality searching ring went far beyond those Lin Moyu had previously used. It was only because his understanding of the Tao of karma was insufficient that he could not delve deeper. Ever since he saw An Yuyan comprehend effect without cause, Lin Moyu understood he could achieve a similar outcome by using the causality searching ring. Of course, using this method would come at a great price. It would be normal for him to die a few times in the process. By establishing an effect through the causality searching ring, he defied the effect of the hand of destiny and karma. Bang! The moment the ring glowed, Lin Moyu suffered backlash and exploded on the spot. This was different from An Yuyan. Her effect without cause manifested the result first, then endured the backlash. For Lin Moyu, using the ring meant enduring the backlash first, then achieving the result. He was shattered, reborn, and shattered again through the ring's activation and a burst of invisible power that blocked the descending karma. The karma of the Lord of Destiny's dormancy did not fall on Lin Moyu, but was entirely blocked by the causality searching ring. The effect was planted, no cause required, only the result. Lin Moyu experienced 3 cycles of destruction and rebirth before stabilizing. Effect without cause was a heaven-defying power. It could have easily put An Yuyan into dormancy, but for Lin Moyu, 3 rebirths were acceptable. Of course, this time the planted effect was simple. If it were more complex, it might take 6, 10, or even more deaths to complete. The stronger the effect, the higher the price. Lin Moyu put away the causality searching ring and looked toward the Tao of Destiny. The Lord of Destiny had successfully passed through the Tao of Destiny and entered Samsara. In as little as 10,000 years or as many as 100,000, he would definitely return. By then, he would regain his peak, surpassing eternity, but whether he could transcend would depend on his own choices. After confirming the Lord of Destiny's situation, Lin Moyu looked at the Lord of Power and Old Yinhead. The 3 locked eyes. Lin Moyu knew they had something on their minds. "Gentlemen, what is it?" The Lord of Power asked bluntly, "Where did Yuyan go?" He had been longtime friends with An Yuyan, and naturally sensed her departure, especially as she had recently been with Lin Moyu. Old Yinhead was more composed, narrowing his eyes and waiting for an answer. At this moment, An Yuyan's karmic Tao was in a strange state, seemingly dormant but still fluctuating. From the Tao alone, it was clear she was not in danger, but there was something unusual, though they could not say what. Lin Moyu replied, "Yuyan is fine. She has left the world." "You what?" The Lord of Power snapped, clearly not believing Lin Moyu. Old Yinhead was calm, asking, "Taoist Lin, please explain further." Lin Moyu explained, "My elder sister took Yuyan away from the world. As for where, I do not know, but I can guarantee she is safe. I have never lied, though you may choose not to believe me." He spoke firmly. At his level, Lin Moyu would never lie. The Lord of Power looked as if he wanted to say more, but old Yin Head signaled for silence and spoke himself. "Taoist Lin, since you don't know where Yuyan went, how can you guarantee her safety?" Lin Moyu answered, "I have my reasons. Moreover, Yuyan will likely soon transcend. After leaving this world, when that happens, you'll see a change in her Tao. You can pay attention then. Any other questions? If not, I'll be on my way." Old Yin Head asked one more question. "Since you say so, we believe you, but we are curious your sister is a transcendent. Have there been any other transcendents in this world besides Candle Dragon?" "There are many secrets in this realm," Lin Moyu said. "You may have lived long, but there's much you don't know. There are things I can't explain to you," like this with a thought. the soulless beast appeared in the origin land. Both Old Yin Head and the Lord of Power could see the soulless beast had replaced Candle Dragon as the new manager of the world's rules, but why this was so, they didn't understand. The soulless beast bowed respectfully before Lin Moyu, calling out, "Master." Their perspectives were once again shattered. A manager of the world's rules, meant to stand aloft, bowed and called Lin Moyu Master. Lin Moyu remarked, "Though you two are eternals, there's much in this world you don't know. The hint? Don't be too self-important. There is much you have yet to see." Still, he gave them some face. "If you really want answers, wait until Yuyan returns and ask her. If you step out and transcend, you can seek her in chaos. There's always a karmic link among those from the same world. With the Tao of Karma, Yuyan may even sense you and seek you out herself." Old Yin Head smiled awkwardly. "You jest, Taoist Lin. We're still far from transcendence." Lin Moyu replied, "However far, it's possible if you're willing to go. That's all I'll say. Farewell." And with those words, he vanished from the origin land. Some things they would have to realize for themselves. He had said enough for today, and only bothered because they were long-standing friends of Anyuyan. Since the fall of the wild beasts, the world's rules had changed. Tao lords and others could now freely enter and exit the origin ancestral land without restriction. Lin Moyu returned, summoned Huosan, and traveled through the world mists. The experience with the Lord of Destiny had taught him something unusual. Something had changed beyond the realm. Someone had arrived. When he had been healing the Lord of Destiny earlier, he'd felt a unique remaining power filled with chaotic attributes, meaning it came from a being of chaos. This power was different from that of a transcendent cultivator and easily distinguishable. Chaotic being's power was more primal and destructive. Just from that, Lin Moyu could tell who it was, not a cultivator hidden behind a divine rune within the core of the world, but a chaotic being. Cultivators would scheme and arrange. Chaotic beings acted directly. The presence of soul devourers hid the world's aura, making it hard for chaotic beings to discover the world. Even if they did, the soul devourers would block them. It must be that when Candle Dragon transcended, he caused enough of a stir that a chaotic being noticed the 5 realms. That's why, when the Lord of Destiny tried to transcend, he was attacked, badly injured by that being, and the force remained behind to erupt only once he entered the origin land, proving the being was intelligent and not lacking in cunning. He not only wounded the Lord of Destiny, he tried to control him, to use him as a pawn to cause trouble in the world. To some chaotic beings, a world like this must seem like a supreme delicacy. Next chapter. Chapter 4208. The Serpent Never Stops Chaos. Beings are myriad and varied. Some may well see realms as mere delicacies. For a chaos being, devouring a realm brings enormous benefit. Once they notice a realm, they will never let go easily. This means that for the living beings within the 5 world realms, even if they wish to truly transcend, on top of the trial against soul devourers, yet another challenge stands before them. This only made Lin Moyu more resolved in his chosen path. Becoming a domain lord isn't the only road, but it is the most correct. Moreover, Lin Moyu was very clear about his own situation. He was already a domain lord. The Great Thousand World is itself a realm. Though the Kedao realm is still weak, there is a chance it could grow into a full realm in the future. The Lingmiao domain is just recovering from being incomplete, and will in time regain its peak. If the 5 world realms are added, he will then preside over 4 domains. With the power of multiple realms, Lin Moyu believed he could wage war even against chaos beings from outside the realms. Speaking of chaos beings, he himself has one, currently dormant in the chaotic region forming within the Great Thousand World. Who knows what level it could reach once awakened. On top of that, the Calamity Staff, the Causality Ring, and the Ice Jade Cushion given by the old man in the green robe, Lin Moyu realized he possessed quite a few trump cards. Therefore, he didn't take the chaos being outside the realm too seriously. The true trouble for him lay with the masters of those vortices in the realm's core, and the ghostly husband's clone imprisoned by the green-robed elder. One was of unknown origin, the other's strength unclear. If even the green-robed elder needed to act and the clone was able to compete for the source bird's blood, it meant that ghostly husband was strong, his clone would be no weakling either. And if Lin Moyu wanted to take the last step, he'd have to resolve both, which was a true headache. Up to now, Lin Moyu hadn't come up with a way to deal with them. He could only take it step by step. Enough thinking, let's find the Fairy of Tribulations first. Now that all 4 gemstones of the Calamity Staff were assembled, it was time to search for the Fairy of Tribulations and retrieve the 5th gemstone. The one on the ferry was rumored to be the Kunlun Emperor, but that was just conjecture, he still wasn't certain. Beyond this, Lin Moyu wanted to visit the Beast Abyss. There, secrets of reincarnation for the 5 world realms' living beings lay hidden. He wanted to examine them and compare with his great 1,000 world. Maybe he'd discover something unexpected. Not every realm has reincarnation. The Lingmiao domain, for instance, lacks even a concept of the void or of yin-yang within the Tao, let alone reincarnation and rebirth of souls. Just this makes the Lingmiao domain far inferior to the 5 world realms. Though Lin Moyu felt there were many flaws in the 5 world realms, the domain as a whole was still quite complete, worth studying, with strengths that could fill gaps elsewhere. He considered ways to add what the Lingmiao domain lacked, hoping that one day it might surpass its former pinnacle and grow even more powerful. Lin Moyu returned to the vicinity of the origin continent, then entered the void. It had been a long time since he'd been there, and now, as an Eternal, he experienced the void on a different level. Eternals cross both reality and the void. Even while in the void, he could sense his state in the real world. Whereas before, entering the void meant severing ties with the real world, now he could control his body in reality even from the void, move his soul in the void, and move his body in the real world at the same time, or instantly return to reality, then back to the same place in the void. It was much more convenient. This is the power of being eternal, the true unity of void and reality. But upon entering the void, Lin Moyu didn't know how to locate the Fairy of Tribulations. Back then, the other had only said to find a way on his own. There had to be a way. Lin Moyu unceremoniously grabbed his causality ring and activated it bluntly, effect without cause. Through the causality ring, he confirmed that he must inevitably encounter the Fairy of Tribulations. But he did not specify a time, fearing that setting a deadline would make things too difficult and the backlash too fierce. Events proved him right. The causality ring emitted unprecedented radiance. Intense backlash surged up, simultaneously blowing his body in reality and his soul in the void to pieces. Purple light flickered, and Lin Moyu was reborn. Bang. He exploded again. The backlash was so intense that the first explosion wasn't enough to clear it. Then Lin Moyu hovered between life and death, dying 7 times in a blink before the backlash eased. Only after his 10th resurrection did the backlash finally dissipate. After reviving, Lin Moyu was shaken. Good thing I didn't set a time. 10 times backlash, 10 times rebirth. He went through all of it in under 5 seconds, faster than his usual rate of reviving once per second. And each rebirth was outside of his control. Normally, he could delay his own revival, but under the causality ring's causality backlash, there was no time for delay. In fact, he had to respawn as fast as possible, otherwise the backlash would continue to obliterate him down to dust. This time, simply confirming a result led to a 10-fold rebirth. If he'd set a time limit, 10 deaths might not have sufficed. His talent could have collapsed, possibly plunging him into dormancy. Staring at the causality ring, Lin Moyu muttered, "It must be that the Fairy of Tribulations is such a high-level existence, that the causality ring's backlash is so terrifying." After the backlash ended, the causality ring shot a brilliant light outward, racing at astonishing speed to the farthest reaches of the void. The result was set. He was sure to meet the Fairy of Tribulations sooner or later. Lin Moyu wasn't impatient. Orienting himself, he set off for the nearby Beast Abyss. He wanted to reach its deepest part, to observe the seat of reincarnation for all 5 world realms. Just as he said, the secrets of the 5 world realms were growing fewer and fewer. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Lin Moyu unraveled all their mysteries, and then he would truly grasp the realm in his hand, becoming master of the five world realms. Once master, he would use his authority to tweak parts of the realm's structure at least. Things like wild beasts wouldn't appear again. Lin Moyu already had strategies in mind, all that was missing was the right opportunity. Master. Just as he had flown a short distance, a familiar voice echoed in his soul. From deep in the void, the chaotic mist parted. A streak of light traveling at incredible speed shot over and stopped before Lin Moyu. Little Python, eyes shining. Master, you finally returned. Previously, Little Python had been evolving, and because Lin Moyu was busy, he let him evolve on his own. Now that Lin Moyu came to the void, he did think of coming to check on Little Python. Evidently, the evolution had gone smoothly now. He was no longer a python, but a mighty dragon. As a dragon, Little Python exuded far more majesty than Antares, even more regal in bearing. But that grandeur lasted less than half a second before Little Python broke into a cheeky grin. Master, you finally come back. I missed you like crazy. Lin Moyu laughed. You've already evolved into an eternal. What's there to miss? How did you sense me? Little Python shook his head. I don't know, it just happened. Python keeps on galloping. You have hooves, do you? Lin Moyu burst out laughing, climbed onto Little Python's head and pointed. That way, let's go. Next chapter. Chapter 4209, Entering the Beast Abyss. Following its recent evolution, Little Python's power soared, now surpassing first-class soul beasts and even the level of minor domain kings. At present, Little Python's strength was second only to the Emperor's. If an Emperor did not use a magical treasure, Little Python was confident he could fight them head-on. Regardless of how far he evolved, Little Python always considered himself Lin Moyu's mount. Along the way, Lin Moyu inquired about Little Python's evolution, which turned out to be quite unique, unlike any other void beast or the emperors of the spirit domains. Lin Moyu suspected this was related to Little Python's past life. Indeed, during his evolution, Little Python regained fragments of his previous life's memories. Although they were just incomplete images, when Little Python described them, Lin Moyu was shocked to discover a connection with the legendary Heavenly Void Palace. In the Void Realm, the Heavenly Void Palace was no more than myth. No one knew if it truly existed. Not even the emperors could confirm its reality. Yet, Little Python's recollections gave Lin Moyu certainty the Heavenly Void Palace was real. When Lin Moyu once fused with a minor spirit domain, he had glimpsed an image suspected to be the Heavenly Void Palace, matching Little Python's account perfectly. This verified its existence, though its location remained a mystery. Little Python muttered, Master, do you think my past life was just the Heavenly Void Palace's doorkeeper? The memory that occurred most often was the great gate of the Heavenly Void Palace, a recurrent image as his recollection returned. Lin Moyu smiled. It's hard to say. Maybe you really were the palace's guardian beast. Little Python replied, If that's true, then the master of the Heavenly Void Palace must be unimaginably powerful for me to have just been the doorkeeper. Lin Moyu said, No matter how powerful something inside the domain is, it ultimately has its limits. Besides, the Heavenly Void Palace has been merely a legend for countless years. Whether it still exists is anyone's guess. But there's no need to think about it. Should fate allow, you may return to the palace one day, assuming it still stands. Little Python nodded. Fine. Whatever my past life was, now I am just Master's loyal mount. He was straightforward. He had chosen Lin Moyu and was content in his role as a mount. Soon they arrived at the entrance of the Beast Abyss. Lin Moyu said quietly, I'm going in, are you coming? Now boasting considerable power and a confidence to rival emperors, Little Python declared, What's there to fear in the Beast Abyss? Lin Moyu chuckled, Then let's enter. With a sharp screech, Little Python charged into the Beast Abyss. Lin Moyu had long wished to probe its secrets. Of all the mysteries in the five realms, this was one of the 10 he had yet to unveil. As for the crossing Calamity boat, he had already set the course and knew they would meet eventually, so there was no rush. Upon entering the Beast Abyss, both Lin Moyu and Little Python heard the abyss's voice. This sound bewitched the soul and was irresistibly alluring to void beasts. Any void beast below first-class soul rank that heard it could not resist. Even some first-class soul void beasts would fall under its sway, only a few could withstand and maintain their will. But the voice had no effect on Lin Moyu and Little Python, who ignored it and flew deeper. Not long after, the annihilation wind began to blow. This wind, emanating from the beast abyss, was indistinguishable from that in the Tao's rules. Strong enough to scatter a Tao Lord's soul, only pinnacle beings could resist it. Void beasts drawn here by the abyss voice were not attacked by the wind, which instead targeted outsiders like Lin Moyu. This annihilation wind was the abyss's first line of defense, though not a very strong one. It's refreshing. Little Python dismissed the wind with arrogance, showing some growing pride. If unchecked, Lin Moyu sensed, Little Python might soon suffer for the overconfidence. Even emperors approached the beast abyss with caution. Clearly, the abyss was not as simple as it seemed. Passing through the annihilation wind, they were now within the true range of the beast abyss. All around were void beasts, seemingly from every region, appearing abruptly in the air as they descended toward the abyss's depths. One glance told Lin Moyu that no matter where a first-class soul void beast entered the abyss, even via offshoots, they would all eventually be transported to this same place. Coming here, their intelligence gone, the beasts just blankly followed the orders of the abyss. Filing in a long queue along a misty path, water sounds occasionally audible below as if there were a river beneath the fog. Here, aside from the void beasts, there seemed to be nothing else, and they paid no attention to Lin Moyu or Little Python. Recalling Antares' account, Lin Moyu remembered that soon after arriving there, someone had approached him. They'd insisted Antares queue up properly, but he refused and killed many, sparking a fight. Lin Moyu, of course, had no intention of queuing. The line stretched so far it would take years to traverse at that pace, and who knew what was at the end. Indicating to Little Python to fly ahead, Little Python did so eagerly, darting forward past the void beasts. Mist parted up ahead, only to reveal even more void beasts, countless in number, as if the entire realm's first-class soul void beasts had gathered here. Little Python murmured, "Why are there so many first-class void beasts?" Lin Moyu answered, "Maybe we'll find out soon." Moments later, a commotion rose from the mist below. Lin Moyu saw soul flames flicker in the fog and knew trouble was coming. A squad of roughly 100 rushed from the fog toward Lin Moyu's soul-devouring spirits. Lin Moyu was startled. They looked exactly like soul-devouring spirits, but on closer examination had only their outward form. Their power was merely at the Tao realm. Queue up or die, came the mental message. It was exactly as Antares had described, but Lin Moyu showed no courtesy. He swept his hand, and world-burning fire roared forth, incinerating them in moments. Little Python murmured, "So weak." Lin Moyu said, "You handle the next ones." Little Python declared grandly, "No problem, leave it to me." Soon, another stronger squad emerged from the mist this time, not bothering to demand that they queue, but attacking directly. Little Python immediately unleashed his power, destroying them with a spray of attacks at once. Next chapter, Chapter 4210, Yellow Springs. Wave after wave of troops emerged endlessly from the mist, only to be effortlessly wiped out by Little Python. The more Little Python killed, the more exhilarated and arrogant he became. Lin Moyu paid him no mind, knowing that after evolving, Little Python needed both the process of adapting to his newfound strength and the humbling experience of defeat to truly understand himself. Lin Moyu could distinctly sense these soul-devourer-like beings growing stronger. Not only was their power enhancing, but their defenses were also adapting to Little Python's attacks. Yet, drunk on success, Little Python didn't notice and continued his rampage. The Beast Abyss's voice, though it couldn't confuse Little Python, still affected him somewhat, making him lose his composure. This reaction was reminiscent of what had happened to Antares in the past. After the fact, Antares' memories of this place were incomplete, also because of the Beast Abyss's voice. Eventually, after countless kills, the soul-devourer-like beings that emerged became much stronger, their power and aura nearly on par with Little Python's. Most crucially, they had adapted to his attacks. When Little Python noticed his attacks were ineffective, he switched methods, but those also failed. How can this be? Little Python shrieked, turning to Lin Moyu for help, but at that moment, Lin Moyu backed off, leaving Little Python entirely to his fate. Worse, as he withdrew, Lin Moyu even nudged Little Python further into the encirclement. Abandoned and howling, Little Python resorted to brawling when his spells failed. Relying on his robust body, he managed to overpower his opponents for a while. Yet, before long, the enemies adapted to his physical attacks too. Every trick up Little Python's sleeve became useless. The soul devourer-like beings manifested razor-sharp claws, raking Little Python's body and shattering his tough scales, causing him to howl in pain. "Master, save me, save me." Little Python screamed in fright, rolling wildly to break free, but nothing he did worked. This was the cost of his arrogance. In the past, Antares had been brazen as well, but unlike Little Python, Antares managed to escape in the nick of time. Under Lin Moyu's control, Little Python lost even the opportunity to escape. His wounds worsened and the pain finally drove him to tears, feeling as if he would die any second. "I don't want to die, Master, save me." His cries grew weak, but just as things seemed dire, a mass of flames descended from the sky, engulfing all the enemies around him. Lin Moyu stepped through the fire looking down at Little Python. "Enjoying yourself?" Little Python whined. "Not at all, Master. Did I do something wrong? Why are you doing this to me?" Lin Moyu replied, "I'm helping you." Little Python was baffled, unable to grasp Lin Moyu's meaning. "I'm helping you realize your own limits, helping you consolidate your evolved power and stabilize your Dao heart. Do you feel it's easier to manage your power now than before?" Lin Moyu asked. Little Python tried and realized things really were different. He felt weak, but his command of his strength was indeed better than before. Lin Moyu explained, "Your evolved strength is too overwhelming for you to control, unconsciously affecting your Dao heart and making you overconfident. This was a small lesson so you could grasp the truth of power. No matter how strong you are, you must control your strength, not let it control you." Little Python nodded and said he understood, thanking Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu cast a spell of life force to heal Little Python's wounds and instructed him to press onward. Battered and wiser, Little Python flew forward with much more humility, keeping a low profile and refraining from yelling. He wasn't stupid, reflecting on Lin Moyu's words and his own behavior. He realized the problem was real. His timidity had turned into arrogance solely because of the effects of his evolution. The newfound strength was simply too much for him to handle, and it had unsettled his Dao heart. Lin Moyu, using his methods, helped Little Python harmonize his power and regain clarity. The ordeal, while seeming dangerous, was actually closely monitored by Lin Moyu, so Little Python was never in real danger. Realizing this, Little Python felt not resentment but gratitude. Soon another group emerged from the mist. Lin Moyu asked, "Want to give it another try?" Little Python shook his head vigorously. "No, no, Master, you do it. I'm just your mount, not your enforcer." Lin Moyu laughed. "Then let's go. We'll head through the mist together." Little Python obediently complied. The world-burning fire roared as Lin Moyu incinerated their attackers to ashes. As they entered the mist, Lin Moyu used the world-burning fire to blaze a path, dispersing the fog. Beneath the mist, they found a great, surging yellow river radiating immense power. Could this be the Yellow Springs? Lin Moyu wondered aloud. He'd heard of Yellow Springs from the human emperor, who had once ventured into the beast abyss, and learned that beneath it lay the Yellow Springs, whose depths led to the abyss's core. The human emperor never described what Yellow Springs looked like, but it wasn't a spring, it was a river. Suddenly, the Yellow Springs erupted, spewing forth hordes of soul-devourer-like beings. These were the same foes who had attacked them earlier. With a sweep of his hand, Lin Moyu reduced them all to ash with world-burning fire, then sent the flames into the river, turning its surface into a sea of fire. World-burning fire could forge worlds, refine souls, or burn through any power. The Yellow Springs contained strange Dao energy that the flames could also incinerate. The fire spread rapidly, as if trying to dry up the river itself. Provoked, the Yellow Springs sent forth huge waves, and out from the torrent burst a gigantic whale. The mighty creature crashed down, extinguishing the world-burning fire with overwhelming force. Half its head protruded above the water as it locked eyes on Lin Moyu. "Eternal One, you should not be here," the whale boomed, its voice like thunder. As it spoke, the yellow springs boiled and the fog scattered. The sound carried a powerful soul shock. Little Python shuddered, clearly affected. This creature's strength was not inferior to any emperor. It was evidence. Powerful beings did exist beneath the beast abyss, and this whale was only one of them. Lin Moyu stood unperturbed and smiled. "Why shouldn't I be here?" The whale rumbled. "This is the beast abyss, the burial ground of all living things. You are eternal, destined for everlasting life. Eternity is fundamentally opposed to annihilation. And you are a cultivator of the real world, but this realm belongs to the virtual realm. You shouldn't be here." Lin Moyu shook his head. "That explanation doesn't satisfy me. Reality and illusion always coexist rather than oppose, just like life and death. If I insist on going down, what will you do?" "If you insist on seeking your own death, I will not stop you," replied the whale. Personally, what I liked about this sequence of chapters is how it marks a turning point in the cultivation logic and cosmology of the story. Instead of repeating the usual MC gets stronger than everyone else trope, this arc digs deep into what it really means to transcend, exploring realms, soul devourers, and the true nature of progression rather than just raw power gains. It works because it reframes the journey, not as a linear power climb, but as a shift in perspective. Lin Moyu begins to understand realms, ecosystem balance, and the essence of true ascension. These chapters don't just show more fights. They expand the lore and give a reason for future challenges beyond just being strong enough to slap an enemy. We see insights into the role of soul devourers, the mastery of a realm as the real path forward, and the heavy consequences of transcending, especially against forces that are beyond even the Eternals. The implications from these chapters are enormous. Even though the story doesn't end with a dramatic explosion or final battle, everything has shifted. Lin Moyu has seen the mechanics behind transcendence and now knows the road most cultivators are walking is the wrong one. But what lies beyond the soul devourers? What being injured the Lord of Destiny with a single blow? And what deeper mysteries in the Beast Abyss are still waiting to be uncovered? The real test hasn't even begun yet. If you're enjoying this audio novel style breakdown of Catastrophic Necromancer, don't forget to subscribe. It helps me bring more deep dives like this. Comment where you're watching from. I'd love to know how far this story reaches. And tell me, if you were in Lin Moyu's shoes, would you try to become the master of a realm before attempting transcendence? Or would you take the traditional route and risk the soul devourers head on? That's all the chapters I'm able to narrate for today. I'm a one-man team balancing a full-time job, so your support truly means a lot. If you like my narration, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll make sure to reply. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.